neither a distinguished parliamentarian nor an important regional politician.
Right man in the right place at the right time.
An influential figure and a man of substantial power.
A deservedly neglected father of Confederation.
But James Cockburn was our father of Confederation. James was born in 1819 in England's Northumberland county, his hometown of Berwick-upon-Tweed being just 3 miles from the border with Scotland. When James was 13, his merchant father decided to sail with his family to a new life in the colonies. It was a fateful journey, as the elder Cobourg contracted cholera en route. 1832 was the year of the great cholera epidemic. Over 2,000 died in and around Montreal. James' father was one of them. With James in tow, and evidently some considerable resources, the widow Cobourg continued on to Upper Canada and the town of York, which 2 years later reverted to its earlier name of Toronto. This was a good time for a gifted young man to be in York. Upper Canada College had just opened its doors, and James Cockburn became one of its earliest students. He then moved on to Osgoode Hall, newly built to train budding lawyers. While there, James must have become acquainted with a fellow student from the town of Cobourg, one Darcy Bolton, who later served 2 terms as Cobourg's mayor. After being admitted to the bar in 1846, Cockburn followed Bolton to Cobourg and joined him in legal practice there. Like most lawyers of the day, Cockburn tried his hand in many things, including real estate speculator, insurance salesman, mortgage agent. Not all of his ventures were profitable, but we can imagine that hopes were high in the year 1854, when he married Isabella Susan Patterson. Unfortunately, there seem to be no pictures remaining of Isabella. It was about this time that Cockburn turned his attention to politics. While he may not have been successful in business, he impressed enough citizens that he was elected to the town council in 1856, 1858, and 1859, and took a leadership role in the completion of Victoria Hall. He next jumped into provincial politics, and in 1861 was elected to represent the riding of West Northumberland as an independent in the Legislative Assembly of the Province of Canada, at that time meeting in Quebec City. The member he defeated was Postmaster General Sidney Smith, also a Cobourg lawyer. In Quebec, Cockburn soon emerged as a supporter of the Cartier-Macdonald coalition, known as the Liberal Conservatives. In 1862, on the home front, things took a decided turn for the worse, as Isabella died, leaving Cockburn a widower, with 3 young children to provide for. Business ventures and the legal practice were not getting the attention they deserved. Nevertheless, in 1863 he was elected by acclamation, and in 1864 elevated to the post of Solicitor General, bringing with it the opportunity to attend the Founding of Canada Conference in Quebec that same year. James Cockburn thus became one of Canada's Fathers of Confederation. In his crowning achievement locally, on July 1st, 1867, he stood on a platform at Victoria Hall to share in reading the Proclamation of Confederation to a jubilant crowd.
Not being more than 6 months after the passing of this Act, the provinces of Canada, Nova Scotia, and New Brunswick shall form and be one dominion under the name of Canada. Given at our court at Westminster, this 22nd day of May, in the year of our Lord 1867, and in the 30th year of our reign. God save the Queen.
Cockburn was elected as the first Speaker of the Canadian House of Commons, and re-elected unanimously in 1872. But in 1873, with the fall of the Macdonald Conservative government, he lost his seat, and would not return again until 1878, after 2 failed attempts at re-election. Meanwhile, back in Cobourg, his business was not flourishing, and he confided in a friend.
I have come to grief, and have been made to feel very poor and very penniless. I am trying to work up my professional practice again, but it needs time, and time, though it may heal, will also kill.
Cockburn did not run for office again, but in 1881 was appointed Commissioner to codify the Dominion statutes, a task which he continued as long as his health allowed. He died in 1883 in Ottawa, and is buried in the cemetery of St. James Cathedral, Toronto. The James Cockburn Society summarizes his life this way: a strong nationalist who was dedicated to Confederation, Cockburn was one of a team of people who formed Canada. While some people may have stood above the crowd, each person made a contribution. His service to the new country as Speaker of the House of Commons makes him an important figure in Canadian history. He served Parliament in a fair and dignified manner.